Hi everyone, MJ here for Taiwan Live TV. How's it going? Yeah, I'm on the fourth floor balcony of my house, as you can see from the title. It's a beautiful night. The moon is right over there. I haven't seen the moon since like the last full moon, and now it's like 2 days past. So I'm a big fan of the queen of the night. I'm waiting for her to come up later because it's, you know, it's waning gibbous, so it rose really late tonight, so it's not above this building across the street. Just want to say hi to everyone on Twitter Live. I haven't been on Twitter Live lately, and also of course on YouTube and also Twitch. And we are capturing the comments, so they'll all show up here from all three platforms. So I should say this way, I guess, or this way, depending. Just a little bit of news. I've been watching YouTube videos and some other platforms, and people are talking about being censored simply for telling their story about what happened to them during the pandemic. Some weird stuff going on, and I just fist bump to you, Ken. Nice to have you with us. Good to see you, sir. You know, hey, Jan, how are you? J-Boy, hey, nice to see you guys. Fist bump to both of you. It's great. I looked away for a second. I looked up, and glad you guys can join. I really appreciate it. You know, generally speaking, I trust people. You know, I think that overall people are good. You know, at least I try to think that they are. And I'm gonna do this real quick. I'm just gonna move this. Anyway, this is it. This way? No, it's this way. Okay. Yeah, it's Sunday MJ time. There you go. Yeah, I just thought that I would just do this just a little bit. And so people are telling stories about what happened to them. You know, they caught COVID and you know the things that it had done to them, right? And also maybe some treatment that they got, maybe some adverse reaction or something. But whatever they want to talk about, the problem is there's a narrative. You guys know what I'm talking about. Chat isn't showing. You're not seeing the chat burn. Okay. Then we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. Hold on. Give me a second. Thank you for telling me. We still have this option here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off this one. Okay, so you see that, right? Okay, it's just a little smaller for me, so actually let's do this. I'm gonna make the, yeah, fine, that's okay. I don't have so much chat that I have to worry about anything like that, so. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is that, you know, it bothers me when I see people being censored for no good reason, and there is a narrative, and you guys know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about, how people can't say anything that might go against whatever, you know, political climate is or something like that. So I started yet another forum. It's called thepandemic.community. Pandemic.community. It's going to be a no censorship platform, but it doesn't mean you can do anything that you want, because there's no political commentary allowed, there's no bullying, you know, none of that stuff. But people can, without fear, tell their story. And so the hook line is, you're not alone, tell your story. So if you go to the pandemic.community, I just started it. I only put up like 3 or 4 messages just to get it going. I put some stuff up there from Dark Horse podcasts and so forth. And so yeah, I know I've got all these platforms like livestreaming.technology. These are all forums that I've started, and I realize that there are way too many, forums out there and things that you guys are busy with. But if you have a COVID story, because some of the people that I know outside of the live streaming realm, like I'm also a moderator over the Tascam forums, and one of the audio engineers there, who I have a great deal of respect for, is gonna be a long hauler. And I told him about ivermectin and showed him the data, and he showed it to his doctor, and his doctor put him on ivermectin, and now he's come back and thanked me. So I've asked him, if you just to consider, because he didn't know about this, I said, you may want to consider going here and telling your story, and nobody will, censor you. So anyway, there's a couple things I want to talk about. I don't want to make this a COVID show, but let me just show you something that came out today, okay? And it's my YouTube thumbnail. This is a list of the vaccines, and you see there's a red box on the left. This is a Taiwan company. I'm going to go up here close here. It's a Taiwan company, and they call the vaccine UB612. It's because it's United Biochemical. And I want you to notice, you see up at the top it says UB-612, and then below it, it says UBI, which is their logo. And then below that, it shows, because this is all in Chinese, that is the technology, and it says multitope. So if you look over to the very right, that's Moderna. It's messenger RNA, and then the other one is BioNTech, and that's messenger RNA too. And it shows all the other different ones, all the different types of technology. And so the interesting thing is this new Taiwanese vaccine, it's past phase 2, it's in phase 3. They're going to test it in India on 11,000 people that have volunteered in India. And so far, are you ready for this? 0 of the test group has had a serious adverse reaction. 0. And the effectivity is over 90%. So I got to tell you something. That's the one I'm waiting for. MJ ain't taking no mRNA. That's just me, but it's a personal choice, and do what your conscience tells you. Now I want to show you something just for fun. It is, I know, it is good. And J-Boy, it's going to be in a test in India, man. And I mean, if you know anybody, in India, they may, you may want to tell them to seek that out. Because it's not, it's not like the other ones. And I don't want to get into it, okay? But I'll post that picture later on this site. But if you got a story, just tell it here, okay? Just tell it there, and you'll be safe. It's cool. And my hosting provider, I've already had a discussion with them. Oh, I see. Yeah, I know. I don't think you could. If you said, for example, if you went to a place and said, well, I would prefer to have a non-mRNA vaccine, they probably wouldn't have one. There's no freedom of choice because they just don't have them. Yeah. Well, so J-Boy, I invite you to join the forum. Okay, you probably got some useful things that you can contribute. Okay, and so we don't want to. It's not about fear mongering, and it's not about. One of the things that I have on the site rules is that there's no mention of political parties or individual politicians unless it's exactly germane to the discussion. Like, for example, if you said, well, Senator so-and-so said this, that's okay. But if you say something on this forum like, oh, only one of those so-and-so supporters would think like that, then that's, that's a bullying thing, right? So I'm keeping the politics out of it. And we just want people to be able to say what they know, their experiences, And so I've heard from people all over the world now, and it's necessary is what I'm trying to say. It's necessary. So, all right. So you guys can see this chat. Okay, this is burning, right? I mean, okay, that's interesting. To check my settings. See, I thought. Anyway, I don't remember. So. Well, thanks, J-Boy. If there's one thing about me is I'm honest, and I'm pretty transparent. I mean, I don't tell you every personal thing, but I'm pretty transparent, and I like these sharing things. I like to be able to share information. Some people tell me I talk too much. I mean, I say too much, but anyway. So I got a couple other things to talk about. Today's, I know I'm licking my lips. I needed to bring my lip balm. It's so dry, and I'm like, oh. Anyway, so I am very much. And there's one thing I will say. There's one thing about me, and this is not all about me. But you never have to worry where you stand with me, because I'll just tell you. And if I don't like somebody, it doesn't have anything to do with their ethnicity. It just has to do with their personality. I used to run into that sometimes in the South. That you don't like me because I'm, from here or this kind of person or something. I go, no, I don't like you because you're not very nice. That's why I don't like you, not because of where you're from. Drinking the Kirkland Costco rum. Oh my goodness, with soda water. It doesn't need anything, man. It's nice and sweet. It's fantastic. All right, so yeah, I like these. Well, thank you, Jan. I appreciate it. And I know it sounds corny, but I'm a man of faith, and I believe that I have to answer to God if I'm a bad person, or if I lie. And I mean, that's the problem with a lot of what's going on today, is that scientific atheism. That's what happened in the Soviet Union, and you have a bunch of people that you see now, especially on the left. They're basically godless, and you can see by the way that they act, excuse me, that they don't think. They answer to anyone, and that's pretty much the result of the theory of evolution. You see, because if a creator created us, then whoa. But if we descended from monkeys, then it doesn't matter. So, nope. That's right, J-Boy. And hey, J-Boy, I know your name is Jacob. Of course, obviously, I've known your name is Jacob for 5 years. But do you mind being? I've been calling you J-Boy all this time. Do you mind J-Boy, or shall I call you Jacob? I don't. Doesn't matter to me. Ken, you take care. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, I gotta go to work. Yeah, well, fist bump to you, bro. And look, man, I got my hair wax in, and even though it's thin, it's yeah, it's okay. It doesn't have that, the bow of the ship look, that I got from the Iranian guy. So. Oh, okay. So Jacob is your real name, and it's your father's name. I don't think you're saying J-Boy is your real name. That's what I think so. That's what I think so. And so, J-Boy, I know you're of Indian descent. You're Indian American, but that's not a name that I would expect from an Indian person. And I'm not being a stupid stereotypical American. I must have 100 at least in Taiwan, Indian friends and acquaintances that I know, and I never, not a single one of them was named Jacob. So really, so J-B-O-Y, J-Boy. Okay, Well, that's cool. I see. That's cool, man. You know, I never knew that. I just, this stuff is fascinating to me. That's gotta be, listen, man, that's gotta be like the smoothest club name, or the, you know, that's like, that's your stripper name, man, but it's your real name. You know, you could go in the club, right, and say, oh, this is DJ J-Boy. Or, you know, you tell some chick in a club, my name is J-Boy, you know, and she's like, yeah, it makes perfect sense, exactly. So, so J-Boy goes in a club, and a woman's like, so what's your name? It's J-Boy. No, what's your real name? Nah, man, my name's J-Boy. And so, yeah, it is. Exactly right. It is cool. So, you know, he shows his ID. Now, this reminds me of a funny story. Because I saw, I guess it was a Twitter post. And I don't know what country the guy was from. But he was from a Southeast Asian country. I don't know if it was Indonesia. I don't know if it was, it may have been Cambodia. It was spelled a little bit differently. But his name was Batman Superman. Whoa. Batman Superman. I see. You know, I wish I'm learning something new about you, like every week. Is great. I wish I'd known that, J-Boy. That's cool. All right, so it's okay that I've been calling you J-Boy because that's your name, but it looks like a nickname. So, oh, that's cool, man. That's very cool. So, now you guys know I have an 8-year-old daughter, right? And so, her name is Phoenix. You guys know this. And whenever she has time, it's like, Papa, let's play. I'm like, okay. And let me tell you, I really try to play with her as much as possible because I recognize that, well, she's 8. It's over like, okay, I definitely will. Phoenix, yeah. So she's 8 years old. So I don't even have that much time. It's like more than halfway to the time when she's going to be too cool to play with Papa. And of course, I'm going to be a lot older too. But I ask her stuff like, do you think I'm too old? And she's like, no way. Why? And she names like 10 things. I'm like, okay, it must be true. So anyway, she's like, let's play with Legos. And we're always playing with Legos and stuff. So, hey, Coco, fist bump to you. Always a pleasure to have you with us. Yeah, been missing you lately. How are things in your area in North Carolina? How's everything there? Kind of getting back to normal? Boy, it would be about time, wouldn't it? You know, my biggest dream, you guys, you don't know this, but because, you know, Coco has an incredible home. She actually, on our line group, live streamed just our group privately, her whole house, and we're like, our jaws drop, you know. But she's got this monster of a yard and everything. It's fantastic. And I have this like fantasy of having like a late night party with all of my followers and people that I know and everybody that you can imagine at Coco's house, you know, for like a big Bootsy barbecue weekend. That's my big fantasy. And you know, you want to know the cool part was she said, just come on over, it's okay. It's like, that might happen, but you know, nothing can happen now because, you know, the situation. And by the way, Coco, I know you just came in. I wanted to mention earlier on, I have started yet another forum because I'm tired of people being censored by big tech just for telling their pandemic stories. What happened to them if they got COVID, or what happened to them if they took a certain kind of treatment. So I have a new forum called thepandemic.community. And you know something? I didn't explain this before. It doesn't say the COVID community because, Oh yeah, I know. That's one thing. That's one thing we love about you, Coco. And you know, Phoenix asks for you a lot, so yeah, it's great. Um, COVID is not the only pandemic. Every year there's avian flu, and there's also the regular flu. So this is a site that you can, without bullying and without politics, you can talk about whatever has happened to you with any kind of epidemic or pandemic type disease and treatment. So there you go. Now, okay, getting back to Phoenix. She wants to play Legos, and she's got these little cool little Lego things. I wish I had when I was a kid. She has a She has a car and a trailer. It's a camping trailer. And it's a Lego. Now this is the Lego Duplo. These are the big blocks, for smaller kids. Cause I gotta tell you, the regular Legos, I call them the smaller ones. That universe is so huge that you just But I can go buy a set or 2 or 3 sets of Duplos, and it's a lot of blocks. But buying, like, usually you buy like a very specific set of the regular Legos, and you can't really use them so much to build other things, with your imagination. It's like if you buy like the helicopter, you're stuck building the helicopter. That's what I'm saying. But I got a little Lego fact for you. The Lego company is the largest manufacturer of tires in the world. Tires. The little tiny Lego car tires, they count as tires. They sell more than like car tires, motorcycle tires. Lego sells more tires than any company in the world. And when I heard that, I didn't know what to think about that. All right, so here's what happened. Now, she has this little trailer, and it hooks up to this blue car, and the trailer has a cover on it that opens up, and she puts her little people in there and the blanket and stuff, and and she closes the top on it, and she drives around. Now you guys know this because I know everybody's the same way. When you're a kid, if you've got something like that, you hold it up to your eye because you want to know what the perspective would be if I was inside that trailer. What would it look like? If I was inside that car, what would it look like? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? You've done that, haven't you? Yeah? Give me a big Y or a number 1. You've done that, haven't you? You've taken your little car when you were a kid and you look through the rear view window to try to look out the front window and into the cockpit to see what would it be like if I was really small, or this was a big car and I was driving around, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? Okay. Well, I have an action cam. Actually, I got a cheap Chinese action cam. It's 4K. It's pretty nice. I got it at Costco. It's basically like a GoPro clone. And so I was messing around with it today. I was actually downloading files off it, and I had it turned on. I said, oh, there's an app too that connects, to the phone, so you can monitor the video on the phone. So I asked Phoenix. I said, why don't we open the trailer, put the camera in at the back, close the trailer, and you can hook it up to your little car and drive it around. Yep, see. Yep, J-Boy knows what I'm talking about. Exactly. And you can drive it around, and we can see what it would look like to be inside that little trailer. And we did it. And she was just ecstatic. Now, when I was a little girl, I was responsible for my siblings, okay? It wasn't peachy, to say the least. All right. And I'm cool. Well, you are cool. Jan, it sounds like, you had a rough time. You're part of our group. And so you're welcome to share these feelings and these things with it, because you know I do, and sometimes I irritate people a little bit, but that's okay. You can irritate people; they irritate you. It's all good. That's what happens with a family, man. Nothing, nobody gets along perfect. So, yeah, I'm happy for Phoenix, but I take that as a compliment. But thank you. I think probably it sounds to me like you might have been robbed of some of your childhood, which is what happened to my younger sister. But there is one thing that I can share with you. I can share with you the video of being inside the car, and here it is. Her hand is on the little blue car in the front. That's Phoenix there. We're on the dining room table, and she's just doing a circuit. There's me sitting there in front of my Surface Pro, and let me play that again. She just makes a circuit. This is so funny. Now, tell me, I know there's a lag. YouTube comments sometimes can lag up to 3 minutes or more. But tell me, was that cool or what? Just from the child's perspective, you know what I mean? Where you want to look at what it would be like to be inside something. I've always wanted to do that. And back when we were kids, we had model rockets and things, and the only thing that we could do was maybe put a microphone or something into it really it does. I remember somebody did a model rocket, and they put a miniature transmitter in the rocket that they could send, because they were ham radio operators, right? And so it was transmitting on a ham band, and then they had the sound of the rocket. But nowadays you can do videos. Oh, I know. Let me tell you, that right there. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Fist bump to you. I gotta tell you, that one right there. The Coco said, "Enjoy the moments. They grow up faster than you notice." I'm gonna tell you, I looked for Phoenix, right? And I'm looking down because she's, in my mind, she's this high. No, she's this high. It's crazy. And so, yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I don't think I'm a special father, and if people, I appreciate it. People commend me, but we have a saying in Chinese. It's like it's just ingaida. And in English, it would say it should be, but I would translate that as it's nothing more than what I should do. It's my duty, and that's really how I view it. And I don't, think it's anything special. I'm trying to do my best. And she has of course, she has. Our business to look forward to, that when she's old enough we can bring her into the business and pass that on to her and so forth. But she's actually a pretty good musician. I did a video of her playing piano, and I'm not going to well, it's on my phone. If you really want me to, I could play it for you, but I wasn't planning on it. But I did shoot a video of her yesterday playing piano. There's 2 songs, and she's speaking in Chinese. She's doing it for a class. She introduces herself. You guys have never heard her speak Chinese, have you? I know, because when she does live streams with us, she speaks English, but she introduces herself in Chinese and explains that there's 2 songs that she's going to play, and she plays them. And of course, she's an 8-year-old kid, and she makes a couple mistakes, but who cares? Anyway, I did show you the piano recital that she did. Anyway, it's on my phone. I didn't even think about it tonight. See, I don't really think about showing things off like that, you know. And you guys know how long it took for me to get other stuff out about, you know, my career. Hey, Frank, how you doing? All right, from Lynn, the city of firsts. No demerits. No. And I'm late too. Fist bump to you, Frank. You guys remember Frank? He's an old friend of mine from Lynn, Massachusetts. And I'm trying to think. Every time you come on, Frank, I do this. So I don't know. I think I've known Frank for like 30 years. I think I had cleaned out a lot. No, this is Frank right here. There you go. There's Frank. All right. Nice to put a name to a face, or a face to a name, isn't it? So let me just do this. If you guys want me to, but only if you want me to, I will do the video of Phoenix playing piano. It's this one right here. And so only if you want me to, I will play the Phoenix video. You know what I noticed I like about this in our comments? Everybody on my channel is a moderator. That's fantastic. I love that. So, all right. So when I was in the car a couple of days ago, I showed those interesting clouds, and they almost looked photoshopped. Okay, all right, I'll do it. Let me tell you what I got to do. I got to turn my microphone off, and that way it'll play correctly. So, all right, let me do this. I'll be right back. I'm going to turn my mic off, and I will play the video. It's 4 minutes long, okay? And this is my daughter, Phoenix. She introduces herself in Chinese, and what she says, "大家好" means hello everyone. And anti-YouTube, anti-Google, welcome. If you're anti-YouTube and you're anti-Google, you're gonna love this new site that I just set up for a censorship platform, censorship-free platform, where people can tell their pandemic stories, whether it's COVID-19 or, you know, the HN series of, yeah, okay. But I just want to say, please behave yourself. Okay, so I'm going to mute my microphone, and I'm going to play this video, and she says, 大家好, which is hello everyone, and she says, I'm going to play 2 songs for you on the piano, and she introduces the song, then she turns around and plays it. So let me turn my mic off right now, and I'll just play it. So here we go.
大家好，今天我要为大家弹2首歌曲。第一首是《工人大道》，第二首是《吉利马扎罗山之歌》。
All right, so that is my 8-year-old. Thank you. Thank you, Coco, for the comments. And yep, she's got the Midas touch, all right. And Anti, if you're saying that you're self-taught, fist bump to you, bro. Allows me, this is the power of Prism. I'm still, online, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to download this right here, and this is gonna play for a second. I'm going to download this. Hold on. Then we're going to go back because Coco has been very busy while we have been streaming the other stuff. She's been cooking, right? And so this is the power of Prism. Oh my goodness. Oh. This is the power of Prism. Coco said that she's been cooking while she's watching me, right? And so what she did was, in our line group, she, oh my goodness, this is crazy. How much stuff have you been, Coco, this is nuts. I mean,
fresh out of the oven.
Fresh out of the oven, yeah. See, I can't wait to hear. I'm going to show all this stuff, Coco. All of it. And so I think that's it. Yeah. Now, the question I have was, when I was away for a second, was I oriented the wrong way or not? So, like daughter, like father, yeah. Well, let me thank you, J-Boy. I appreciate it. Thank you. You guys who know me, right, you know I was a record producer in Boston and an international recording artist myself. I worked with CBS Records and other labels when I was a kid. I'm 65 now. But I will say this. A lot of parents, they're like, oh, my kid this, oh, my kid that, but my daughter will sit down, because we went in Taipei to see Mayday, which is like the biggest band in Taiwan. And she says stuff to me like, I think the singer's a little off there. And I'm like, what? Because I heard it. The singer's off there. I said, yeah, I would have made him do that take over. What do you think? Yeah, he should have done it over. And she's 8 years old and saying this stuff, right? And so she comes into my studio sometimes when I'm mixing somebody's record, because I have the studio here in my home, right? So she'll come in, and the comments that she makes about what's going on with the tracks is way beyond even me at 8. Because when I was 8, I was just discovering harmony. See, my mom was a professional singer and a recording artist too, so she would sing sometimes. Like, we would take a trip and she would sing. And then when I was 8 years old, I started experimenting with harmonizing. And if you know any of my own records, they're lush with 3, 4, 5, and sometimes more harmonies, triple tracks. That's where I learned it. So she has Papa's ears, and she's just about old enough now for me to start training her on singing with upper chamber and lower chamber to be able to really get that, because even though I'm 65 and I'm old and my lung capacity is down, I can still belt it out pretty much like I could, in my 30s. But anyway, this isn't about me. We got a lot more media here to add. Now, Coco just, oh my goodness. Okay, listen, you guys. We're going to be busy for the next 30 minutes showing all the stuff, all the multimedia that Coco has just uploaded to the line group. And you're not going to believe this. Okay, so here they are, and I guess the order that they were uploaded. Coco said that she was cooking breakfast while she was listening to me. A lot of people listen to me in the background, And I don't blame them for two reasons. Number one, I used to be a national talk show host on the Talk America Radio Network, so I got a voice for radio. I have a face for radio. If you don't watch me, it doesn't really matter. So this is, oh, look at this. Oh, you know, we don't got stuff like that in Taiwan. Not really. We have, you know, some things that are something like that, but oh, look at these. Those are popovers. Coco, you know I'm on a fast, right? I have not eaten one single scrap of solid food since last Sunday night. It has been 1 week exactly. You know that, right? But that's okay. I can handle it. I love this stuff. All right, let's go to the next one. I'm moving this over here so you can see it. That looks like that's what I'm talking about. That looks like some Southern style hash browns. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to look at all the descriptions. Now this, oh, come on, man. Are you kidding me? Myrna, fist bump to you. Thank you for joining us from San Antonio, Texas, on Twitch. Appreciate it. Oh, I know, but this is how it is. She tortures us all the time. J-Boy, I'm telling you, man. It's like, so one of the reasons that I wanted to visit Coco and do this late night parties is an excuse to go, you know, go to her house at 10 o'clock in the morning and go, hey, Coco, what are you guys having for breakfast? So there you go. Look at that omelet, man. Look at the colors. See, food just, you know, it's not just about how it tastes. It has to have a certain look to it. You know, and there's some people that, you know, they can cook food and it looks okay, but sometimes, you know, it's like when I cook stuff, it looks like a mess. But it tastes good. But I mean, look at that. It's like, whoa. All right. Now, we're not even halfway through. Look at this. There's some more of those muffins. And, you know, Coco's taking more pictures, and they're just getting better and better. Look at those things with the spirals. And, you know, oh, man, oh, man. Myrna, how's everything down your way? Look at that. You know what I would do with that? I would slice that open, and I'd put a little mayo in there, and I'd probably put like a fried egg, some cheese, some bacon, and some hot peppers in there. And I would make me a sandwich out of that croissant. But I also might put some Thai food in there, like mu kapow. Now look at this. Okay, these are similar to the other ones. It's like they get better and better. All right, so now look at this one. That's another angle of the same thing. Tell me, does that look like? Okay, you ready for this? Watch this. I need to mute my mic for a second. Crescent rolls, all done. Crescent rolls, all done, she says. Okay, well there you go. And this is a shot of that's another shot of the omelet that you haven't seen. what happened with Line is apparently I downloaded multiple copies of some of these, but you know what? I don't care. They all look fantastic. Okay, so these we already saw. Now this is one we haven't seen. This is in portrait mode, and I'm going. Hang on. I'm sorry. Okay, now. Hang on a second.
Making breakfast. Even have some crescent rolls. And I'm still cooking some other little muffins. And I have some muffins in the oven. Making breakfast. Making breakfast. Even have some crescent rolls. And I'm still cooking some other little muffins. And I have some muffins in the oven.
So there you go. And I'm on a fast. Coco, 感谢你啊！哇，你会煮菜，你好厉害哦！ So you really know how to cook. Very skilled, just like. I would love to show these to my Taiwanese friends, like, you know, like this one, okay? Just like this one, just okay. 这个是就是很特别的法国的面包，他们说 croissant, or you said what was the word that you said? I think this is called a croissant. So I would have to like explain this, right? You know, and it would give me a lot of pleasure to say, you know, just 这个特别的面包不会太硬。This special kind of bread is not hard. 就是软软的，不会太甜. It's very soft, but it's not too sweet. It's not exceptionally sweet. And 如果你放那个奶油上很好吃. So if you were to put butter on it, it would be really good. So I would absolutely love to explain these dishes to my Taiwanese friends. It would be really amazing. And the thing is, right, is we actually have like this we call like amudan. So yeah, I love them too, man. I love them too. I've been in the studio, you know, lately, and of course I've been using the JTS microphone, and I've been enjoying it tremendously. JTS has been really, really good to me. George, you know, when George gave me that mic, by the way, he told me I had to return it by the end of May. And I still got it. It's the end of June. But this, they call, what's over here? They call amudan. And so there's a place here in my neighborhood that I go to that has omelet. That's how you say omelet in Chinese. And because dan means eggs. And so she'll make me like a bacon, cheese, and egg omelet. And then I go and take some of that hot oil. You guys know what I'm talking about. That's like oil that's been cooked with hot peppers. It's actually red. And I will just lace that thing, man. It's like basting it in hot oil. It's fantastic. So it would be fantastic. I really enjoy doing those kinds of things, you know, where explain those foods to my Taiwanese friends. Now, speaking of George, it's only fitting that I do one of George's bumpers. So here it is.
Hi, this is George from Taiwan, JDS. You are watching the Late Night with MJ Klein.
Now, I'm sorry, I don't know why, but that wasn't centered correctly. So let me do this, and I'm going to do it again, okay?
Hi, this is George from Taiwan, JDS. You are watching the Late Night with MJ Klein.
Of course, JTS is the company that does these fantastic high-level, professional-level microphones. And they gave me what they call the JS1P 2 months ago to review, and it's a fantastic microphone. You guys have heard it on many of my past streams. And let me tell you something about this one. This is the karaoke mic, and I did some experiments with it yesterday on my analog recording console. You see that thing on the left? That's a transmitter. So the two channels, they say 14, so I forget how many total channels that you have, but if you got interference, you can find a channel that works. But that's a karaoke microphone. You connect to it with your mobile phone using Bluetooth, and you send like a karaoke song to it and you sing with it. And all those controls, you can't really, it's hard, well they're in Chinese, okay, but it's bass and treble, and one of them is the amount of echo that's on it, and of course the microphone volume and so forth. But what you can do is you can plug that receiver in. The microphone is a transmitter, it's a wireless mic. But if you look carefully, you can see that there are speakers on either side of the microphone. And so you could just sit like in some afternoon in a restaurant with a bunch of Taiwanese friends and use your phone and play all these karaoke songs, and it's got speakers there and a microphone with echo on it. It's an instant party. But if you want to make it really loud, you plug that receiver into a system. And the cool thing is that the karaoke stuff, the karaoke, as we say in Chinese, the karaoke sound from your phone that comes out of those speakers goes into that receiver too. So you can make the whole thing like really loud. So I did some experiments with it yesterday. And this is a shot that George sent to me of the mic. It comes in different colors. I love the orange. You guys know me. I love those like crazy colors. But that's actually a pair of JTS headphones, and I have another pair. I have a studio pair that I use because I use it for mastering, because it actually has better bottom end on it, and which is important in mastering. You got to know what's going on. So yeah, those were some of the things that I had been playing with, and this is another video from the JTS conference room, and this is George using one of those mics. And if you look in the front, the table has microphone holders that have other mics in it. This is called the K88. So the K Baba in Chinese, or the K88 mic, the karaoke mic. This is a whole bunch of them. Look at this. If you see that, this is amazing. So let's play this one.
This is George from JDS Taiwan. You are watching the Late Night with MJ Klein.
Yeah, man, that is so cool. See those mics there just sitting in there? So if you go to the JTS headquarters, you can hang out and just sing karaoke. No, there's no lag at all, man. It's just like you could use it. I mean, it's not that expensive, so you could use it. I mean, it's got the the speakers on it and stuff. But here's what you could do. You can make it look like a microphone flag. You know what I'm talking about? When you see a talking head in the field and they have a microphone, there's usually like some kind of marquee on it that says, you know, W so-and-so, K sub so-and-so. We call that a microphone flag. So what you could do with that mic is on the back of it, you could put whatever you want on it and it would just look like a mic flag. But you could definitely use that in a concert. And the cool thing about it is it has built-in echo. So that's, I mean, thank you, Taiwan, you know. I love living here. So a lot of lagging. Oh yeah, from the comments. Yeah, I know. It's hard. It's YouTube, multi-streaming, you know. Someday I'm going to create my own system. I'm getting all these. Man, oh man. My phone is sending notifications to my watch, and I'm talking here all of a sudden it buzzes, so if you guys know what that's like. So I don't think I have anything else to show, but the other day I did show the some of the most fantastic clouds that I've ever seen, and I want to show you this one again. This one doesn't even look real, but that's a real cloud. I mean, look at that. That looks like, you know, the Thunderbird. Just crazy. And another one, some of these though, I don't know if they're, you know, if they're CGI or not, but this looks like, Dave was saying it was like a sandstorm. Well, J-Boy, why do you miss Periscope? Because we couldn't do this on Periscope. Not really. I mean, we would have to use Prism. And of course, I did use Prism on Periscope. But anyway. Oh, I do too. I do too. And now who did this? Give me a Y or give me a 1. When you were a kid, didn't you used to look at the sky? Just lay like on, you know, on the grass? Well, Auntie, if you don't mind me calling you Auntie, I'm not saying like, you know, Aunt B or anything, but Anti. How do you find somebody's live streams? Because I noticed that you are watching on YouTube. The whole thing is a thrash. Periscope was fantastic. Don't get me started, okay? My live streaming experience goes back to 1996, actually 1995, on the PC. Periscope killed Catch. That was the back end that we needed, you know, and it just, I mean, Periscope's replays were basically valueless. The fast, it's going good. I will address that, Mike, just a second. Twitter Live doesn't even have a live tab. I mean, I look at my Twitter app and I go, I don't know who's live. And there's so many ads, and there's so many tweets by people I don't care about. They're not on my list. I don't follow them. It's all stuff about big data and all this stuff. So you know what? I don't even use it anymore. I turn it off. I have all Twitter notifications off because I don't care. And I only open Twitter if I want to send something, but I don't spend any time reading it because it is a rabbit hole. I mean, even Reddit is more organized. That's the problem. It's not organized. And so I know that I'm streaming to Twitter Live, but I don't expect that it will even result in anything. You know, nobody can watch the replays. Now the fast is going great. Let's talk about that. As you know, I've been doing intermittent fasting for years, and I lost 10 kilograms. That's 22 pounds by fasting. I fasted about a week or so, and Perry, okay. I asked you why you missed Periscope. I think I know there's a big lag. I'm sorry. About the fast. Sometimes when you start to fast, your body freaks out. It goes, whoa, wait a minute. Oh, there's no food, so we got to retain everything. The main thing you retain is water, right? You know, right up front. So, no, he isn't popular to me either. Oh, the map feature, yeah, that was pretty good. I used it for a while, but then I stopped using it. But, hey, you know, if you guys like PewDiePie, it's fine with me. I don't get the appeal. I mean, he doesn't seem to be an expert in anything. I don't know if that matters, but because PewDiePie decided that he was going to go strictly with DLive, you know, the blockchain platform, and they're not going anywhere. Actually, the developers of Prism, who I've gotten to know very well over the last 2 years, told me that they were considering linking, you know, being able to do an SNS login and link to DLive, and I questioned them, and I said, "You really sure you want to do that? I mean, that's not a very, I don't see that as being an up-and-coming successful platform. It's nothing less than a clone and a cheap clone of Twitch. And, you know, the video is good and all that, but they disappear after 2 weeks, and I don't like those subscription models. See, say what you want about YouTube. You know, as long as you don't violate the TOS, man, your stuff's there forever. I got stuff on YouTube from 15 years ago, man, just sitting there, you know. I got like 6 channels, 7 channels, I don't even remember. So, and YouTube got into the live streaming late. But you know how Google is, they got tons of cash, and they can actually throw that cash around. And English live streamer. Yeah. Well, yeah, I know who PewDiePie is. I mean, I don't really know who he is. I saw him a couple times and I went, whatever, and it's not what I want to watch. Okay, so let's get back to the fast. When I started my fast several years ago, I was a disgusting, overweight, obese, 125 kilograms. I fasted down to 115. So I was slightly less disgusting and slightly less obese, but I noticed a big difference. And all of a sudden, I was wearing pants that I couldn't have worn many years ago. And in 2010, I went to the United States and I bought like 4 suits, and I had them tailored, you know. And I remember putting the pants on for the suits, and I was able to take my fist and go between my gut and the outside perimeter of the pants. So I had like a fist worth of space between, like, you know, so that, I'm sure I could have measured it and, you know, using pi, figured out the difference in the circumference of my waist, but let's just say it was significant. Recently, you guys know I've been depressed, suffering from depression. It's something that happens. It has to do with a lot of my past and medical problems that I had. And so anyway, so whatever, sue me. I got depressed and I put weight on, and I went back up to like 122. And I got really tired of it because I'm sluggish and I feel, you know, I mean, I'm 65, and so I don't expect to be a babe magnet, but I have a wife and I don't want to look like, you know, a couch potato for her. So I just said, you know what, I'm going to drop some serious weight. And I went on this fast starting last week, and I started out at 122 and I'm at 117 right now. Now, I haven't felt any hunger, because what I've been doing this time, as opposed to the last ones, is I have been filling my stomach with liquid. I get up in the morning and I make all kinds of different brews of teas and coffees. And so I have these, they're actually made in Japan. I have these Japanese, they're really cool. They're pitchers, okay? And they've got a handle on them, they're clear. They have a screw-in top, but the top has a filter that goes on the bottom. And you can fill the filter with tea or coffee, put it on the top, screw it so it locks, and then put the whole top assembly on the pitcher and lock it in, right? So that's what I've been doing. So I will take like some of that Costco Columbia dark roast, which I love, and I feel that I just jam that filter, and I put, you know, clean filtered water in it, and I put it in the ice box, and it gets cold, and I let it sit overnight, and it's just for 10-12 hours, and I get up and I have that sometimes. Well, mostly I have that in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon. I also have different kinds of tea. This is Taiwan, man. This is, you get whatever you want. So down at the Jar Jar, they have these tea bags from Indonesia that is a red tea. Oh, sorry, you say, in English you would say black tea. In Chinese we say hong cha, which is red tea. It's black tea, vanilla flavor. And I read the ingredients, because the great part about it is all imported products have a Chinese ingredients label. There's no sugar in it, there's no carbohydrates. I was like, this is great, because I didn't know what they were putting in it, you know, for the vanilla flavor. It's just natural flavors. So I will put like 4 tea bags, because I have 2 of those Japanese pitchers. And so I'll put 4 of those tea bags in the second one and fill it with hot water. And I did check on the bottom, it tells you the temperature that can take. It could take 100 C, which is, you know, 212 Fahrenheit. So it could take boiling water. So I put 4 bags of that tea in there, fill it right up to the top, and it's, I think it's 1.5 liters for the whole thing. So no, it's not, man. It's not. And you know, it makes you, you know, when you're overweight, sometimes people make negative comments, right? Like I was in the park one day over in Jubei, and I had my Nikon camera, and I was photographing something, and I had the camera up to my eye, and somebody poked me in the gut, and a Taiwanese woman said, "Nida tutu tai da," your stomach is too big. And I whipped around and I said, "Nikan meo iganeng winnie." I said, "You look it. Nobody asked you." But what a rude and disgusting thing to say to somebody. I looked at her physique, and I was about to make a comment, and I realized it would not only have been unchristian, but it also would have been actionable, because she didn't look too good. But I just let it go. But anyway, with the tea, you know, I'll put the 4 bags in there. So the oh, I know. Well, Frank, you're absolutely right, because I will tell you, that's the word in Chinese. I am transitioning. Usually, if someone says I'm transitioning, you're going, "Can you tell me your pronouns?" No, I'm transitioning into a Taiwanese Chinese speaker. Sorry about that. But yeah, icebox. We say bingxiang. So, but yeah, the fridge. But here's the thing. If you say fridge, a lot of people outside areas that don't have the Frigidaire brand of refrigerators understand, you know, because Frigidaire and refrigerator. So anyway, so no, she did. I'm telling you, Jay boy, she did, man. And I had my camera up to my eye, and I was shooting something, you know, upwards. I wasn't looking down. I just, you know, was minding my own business. She poked me in the stomach, and actually said that. I believe that her expectation was that I couldn't understand what she said, and that was a big mistake on her part. You should look into YouTube. There are so many YouTube videos of I understood their secret conversations about me. Yeah, that's my whole life. Okay. I'm trying to get through this. So I put the 4 tea bags in there, and I let it sit on the counter in the kitchen until it cools, and then I put it in the ice box and I drink that. There's another thing that I do too. You guys know about chicken powder. I guess in the States you would call it bouillon. There are bouillon cubes, but we have chicken powder that we use in like Chinese recipes, right? And so I'll take a spoonful of this chicken powder and I'll put it in a cup, put hot water in it and stir it, and it's hot soup. Now the last fast that I did, I asked my wife to go to the supermarket, next time she went, to please buy a bunch of pork bones and make me some bone broth soup. And she made some bone broth soup. And when you're on a fast, a couple grains of rice is astonishing. She made this bone broth soup that was like, oh, but it was nothing. But when you're on a fast, it was so nourishing. And so I haven't done that. But I will say this is the first fast that I've been on, that I've made it for exactly 1 week, 7 days, and I have not taken one single scrap of solid food. Not one even peanut or nothing. And in the past, I've always had little things that I could, have for backup. Like I would have some cheese. Now everybody knows cheese is not glycemic. There are no carbohydrates. There's no impact at all whatsoever. Calories don't matter. Carbohydrates do. Fat. You want more fat if you're trying to lose weight. So I would have a couple slices of cheese. I also had some of that, some of the Costco mixed nuts and no sugar. I take a handful of those and that'd be good. But this fast, I told my wife today, I said, this is like standing on my head. I feel great. I know my blood glucose has dropped. It's probably like, 87, 88, where it should be. So I have a very big goal, a strong, powerful goal. So I went from 122 to 117. I'm going to go one more week. I'm going to make an assessment, and if necessary, I'm going to go a total of 3 weeks, because you can do that. People think you die. I talk to people, I know people that haven't missed a meal in 40 years, not a single one. If you eat 3 meals a day, so what's 3 times 7? That's like 21, right? Yeah. Yeah, of course, yeah. But that's a nice basis, and you add some vegetables. It's kind of like stone soup, right? You start out with a base, right? Well, that chicken powder, they have that in Asian stores, and it's really good. My wife uses it when she cooks. But I just went to the store and got my own little jar of it, and I'm using it to fill my stomach up with something that doesn't make me feel hungry, but doesn't have any glycemic impact, no carbohydrates, no sugar, nothing that will interfere with my fast. All it does do, however, is add to the water that you do retain, because when you first start to diet and to fast, you lose a lot of water weight first. Most of the time people, they drop off really quick, but then they sort of plateau, and it takes a longer time for them to start going down again, and that's why. I remember in the States, there was a special kit that GNC Nutrition had to kind of slim down. If you had like some special event that you were going to do, and they would say you could lose like 5 to 8 pounds or something like that. And it was largely about losing water weight. So anyway, what I haven't done, because I'm having trouble sleeping and I've been busy in the studio mixing, is I haven't done any exercise. The other half of my studio is an exercise room. I have a semi-recumbent electric bike, and I have like a universal machine, weight stacks, I can do bench press and pull downs and flies and anything I want, and I just haven't done it. So anyway, melatonin, no, I can't take melatonin. And nice to see you on Twitter Live. I can't take melatonin because of my past history with depression. Melatonin is bad for me. So my doctor gave me some Taiwanese sleeping pills, but I'm, 1/3 taller and twice as heavy as the average Taiwanese person. So if I take one of these pills, it doesn't do much. I found that if I take one of these sleeping pills, the most undisturbed sleep, just straight through, that I can get is about 4 hours. So it's kind of tough. I was having trouble sleeping the other night, and I don't know why. So I took one, and I laid in bed for 2 hours. So I took another one, and I finally fell asleep, and I woke up 3 hours later. I'm like, what is going on? This is crazy. I had a what do they call it? An endoscope, where they put the scope down to to look at your esophagus and stuff. So yeah, I mean, you need to do that because if there's sugar in there and stuff, look at the carbohydrates and things, But yeah, well, thanks, Mike. I appreciate it, man. I'm not going to tell you what my goal is because you'll tell me, no, don't do it. It's crazy. But I gotta, like I told you, I have a very ambitious goal. But they gave me this sedative when I was in the hospital to do this esophagus scope, right? Because it's supposed to put you in kind of like a twilight, they call it. You're not knocked out, and it's like just a twilight, so you don't gag and choke on it and stuff. And they gave me a dose of it, and I said, I don't feel anything. And I said, are you sure? And I said, 没有感觉, like no feeling. So they tried it, and I was like, ugh, and I basically vomited the thing out. And they said, okay, we'll give you one more dose. And I still didn't feel it. I still did not feel it. Oh, it's crazy. So we just went with it anyway. They said, we can't give any more because it's dangerous. I go, look, I'm 125 kilograms. You could probably give me 4 doses. But no, they wouldn't do it. So, okay. But yeah, I have GERD, but I'm asymptomatic. And today, the term asymptomatic is something that you don't want to say about yourself. But yeah, I have gastroesophageal reflux disease with no symptoms. My father, though, man, oh man. My father had a congenital defect where the stomach is just a bag, basically, and the esophagus connects to the bag. But there was a tear where the stomach meets the esophagus. And so his esophagus would, because of the tear, the end of the esophagus, this is really weird, would slide down into the stomach, and the acid in the stomach would start burning the bottom of the esophagus. I mean, his doctor explained it to him, and my dad explained this to me, and I'm looking at him like, you got to be kidding me. I was 19 years old. I go, you got to be kidding me. Your esophagus is dipping down into your stomach acid. He said, yeah. Well, what can you do about that? And he said, I got to have an operation. Now, he was 55, so that would, for me, be 10 years ago. And there's 2 kinds of operations. They go in from the front, and they go in around, like, the shoulder blade and the side. And he had this at Cone Hospital in Greensboro, and his doctor said, don't get the one in the front. And he had done some research, and apparently if you get the one done where they open you up in the front, you can't raise your arms up anymore or something. Now, of course, that was like 40 years ago. There's been a lot of medical advances. Nowadays, they might just punch a hole through you and use the Da Vinci machine. But I've often thought that might be like my destiny, to have this invasive, very weird, strange kind of operation. Some nights, though, I'm laying in bed and I do feel a little bit of reflux. The only thing that I care about is acid reflux can destroy your voice. And for me, that would be the most devastating thing, because all of my life I've been a singer. I've been a professional singer all of my life. And, not being able to finish these. I've got a new album in progress. I've got like 9 tunes, and you know, not to be able to finish this new record and be able to do the vocals, you know, and not only that, but just not to be able to shut down the noisy Vietnam guys that take over these karaoke places here. I'll be at some restaurant and they're singing some Vietnam song, which, as far as I can tell from my ears, Vietnam songs are Chinese songs with Vietnamese words. Because they play these songs, they go, I know that song is a Chinese song, and they're singing it in Vietnamese. So I know what they're saying because I know the Chinese song. And so, but they stink and they're terrible. So I'll just put a song on and I'm like, you know, what am I going to pick? I'm going to pick, you know, Pagliacci song. Yes, and then for some strange reason they don't want to sing after that. So if I couldn't do that, of course I'm pulling you guys' leg. No, I actually do that, but I'm pulling your leg about, if I couldn't do that, it's about the recording. If I couldn't finish the recordings, it would be very devastating to me, obviously. So I think that basically just wraps about everything up. Really? Oh, that's interesting. Coco, glad you laughed at that, but I remember, okay, before we had level 3, I was at Athula's place. You guys remember Athula, right? He's the gentleman from Sri Lanka. I played some guitar. If you look at my channel, I brought the Brian May, the Queen guitar, down to his place, and I played some stuff, and just, you know, copyright strikes, be damned, I don't care. I just, you know, played a bunch of songs on it. And I was there one time, and some Filipino guys came in, and they were singing and stuff, and you know, they said, "You want to sing?" And I went, "Yeah." And they were using YouTube, you know, for the you know, for the karaoke. And I actually did that. I actually put Pagliacci on. And you should have seen them. They're like, wow, man, look at this old guy, and he's it was epic. But after that, it was kind of like, well, let's take a break and eat something. So anyway, I actually have a copy of that in my workstation, and I've been considering doing a version of it. And anyway, it's just something it's a back burner thing, but I got a number of tunes. I got to get them finished, and I think they're great tunes. And very soon I'm gonna present them here, because I'll be able to play them, you know, on the live stream with Prism Live. So yeah. Anyway, listen, I've been yakking for 1 hour and, well, 26 minutes, because we had a 1-minute intro. I want to thank everyone for joining. It means a lot to me when you guys show up, and when I live stream. I really appreciate it so much. I love all of you guys so much, more than you know. You're so good to me. I really appreciate it. And so, if you're new, please subscribe. I never say this. And like the video if you like it. I don't really care about numbers, but yeah, Queen. And you see me, Mike. And you can look on my channel, and I'm playing the Brian May guitar, which, by the way, since that video, I've changed my string gauge, and it's made a tremendous difference. I'm actually using the original, you know, 008 string gauge that Brian May originally had on his Red Special, which is funny. When I was a kid playing guitar in 16, I knew a lot of rock stars, you know, around. Thank you very much, J Boy. At that time, and they were all using 8-gauge strings, and I I don't remember that being, the way that it is. So, yep. Thank you very much, Mr. Anti-Twitter or Miss Anti-Twitter. Thank you for joining, and I appreciate it. And so, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I have some other channels, but they're for very specific things. Like for my studio, I have a channel for my studio, Phoenix Media Forge. I can just show you. I have like this is like let's see. I took that one down. They would be all down here like this in this area. Behringer World is another form that I have for Behringer products, and live stream technology, because you already know that. If you look on SoundCloud, Phoenix Media Forge Studio, you can hear a lot of my past catalog from the 80s when I was a producer in Boston. These are recordings that I engineered, but I'm the recording artist, but I also engineered, produced, and mixed them myself. And then we also have, what is the other one? Yeah, this is my Instagram for my studio, Phoenix Media Forge, and this is my Instagram. Wow, I got a moth here. That's my Instagram. Oh, I guess I can't. Oh, okay. I guess I can't do that. I got to take one of these off, which means this. Okay, and so Taiwan Live TV is my Instagram for Taiwan Live TV. So there you go. Anyway, I'm over here. So I'm not a big, self-promoter, but J-Boy, thank you. And I feel the same way about you too, bro. Always nice to see you too. You guys take care. Stay safe. Here in Taiwan, we're pretty safe. Our numbers are really, really low. Only 7% of the population has had one dose of the vaccine. I'm waiting for the Taiwanese version. It's not messenger RNA. And so seriously, if you would like to discuss anything about your experiences with COVID-19, with treatments, with vaccines, or whatever, please go to thepandemic.community and just spill it. Just tell what happened, and don't worry, you're not going to get censored unless you're a bully or you're overly political. But if you're just, telling the truth about what happened to you, if you took a vaccine or you didn't, or you went to the doctor, or you got sick, and the symptoms that you felt, things that happen, people want to tell their story. There's a lot of people that are hurting, they're damaged. These are critical times that we live in, and it's very hard for us to deal with these times, and being able to share this. And the hook line for the site is, you're not alone. Tell your story. So I'm going to invite you. Tell your story there. All right, so you guys take care. We're going to give you the big finger, okay, which we used to do a long time ago in Periscope. So you have a good night and good evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. We're going to say Zaijian, Wan An. Yeah, the Taiwan vaccines, I think they are best because they're not based on on that same technology. So you guys take care, and we'll see you next time on Taiwan Live TV. Zaijian, Wan An, bye bye. Oh, here's the big finger. Bye bye. Thank you. I will. Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you so much, you guys.